Greetings. Man has control over creation. But very few people understand this statement. And the reason for that is because of the way how they were raised and what they were raised to believe. For example, people were raised in this part of the world where I grew up, in the islands, in the Caribbean, and many other places around the world. They were taught to believe in a savior, a redeemer, a creator, a lord, a master outside of themselves. So they could never see the creative power that is within themselves. And they would never see that they have power over creation because they do not understand how the mind works. Very few people understand what it really means when it says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Some people think it is speaking of the organ in the body that pumps blood around the body. But they fail to realize that it is saying, as you think in the invisible world, because thinking is taking place in the invisible world, the non-physical world. Then it is saying, so shall it be in the physical world. So everything you see in the physical world is a duplication of what is happening in the non-physical world. So as a man thinketh, so is he. It cannot be hidden. So everything that's happening in our life, we are actually the cause of it. So the effects are the creatures of man. Man are not the creatures of his situation and circumstances. He must come to the realization that he's the one who creates them. Okay? And that is why it's important for everyone to understand that the Bible is a book of mind science. That's why it's very important for everyone to understand that the Bible must never be taken literally, okay, or be seen as secular history that is pointing them to look outwardly. You must realize it is pointing you to look inwardly because it is a book of psychology. It's all about the mind. So when you realize that thoughts become things, you will also understand that we become what we think about most of the time. So with us having in us the creative power to create anything in this world, we must understand that we have control over creation because we have control over our minds. You see, I cannot have a thought for you and you cannot have a thought for me. Every one of us have been given the power of choice. So you can choose to live a creative and uplifting life, or you can choose to live a destructive life. You can live a rich and healthy life, or you can live a life in mediocrity and scarcity. But it all have to do with your perception. How do you perceive yourself? How do you perceive the world? How do you perceive others? Do you realize that we are all one? Or do you think that we are separated? And when I say one, I'm speaking about one universal consciousness. I'm speaking also about one creative power, which is the power of imagination. For everything in this world that was ever invented, it was first a thought, it was first an idea, it was first imagined. So my brother, my sisters, when you realize everything you see in this world that we depend upon, it is the expression of a thought, then you would realize that you are a thought evolved being. For your mother and your father had to have that thought first and then act upon that thought and get into the physical sexual act of sex to express you here. And you're just having this human experience. You believe yourself to be this visible body, but this is only the house in which your invisible self is residing. And you're here for a purpose. You're here to learn, to create. So you will know that you have power over creation. You will know that you are the creator and the things on the outside are the creation. You will know that you are the perceiver and the things on the outside, they are the perception. So my brother, my sisters, once you can accept the fact that God and man are one and that you have control over creation, then you can go ahead and create your life whichever way you want it to be. You would realize that you have to hold yourself responsible for your thoughts and your action. Because as you think, so shall you be. And no one in this world can change that law, the law of mentalism. So, if you're listening to me and what I'm saying, if it makes sense to you, if it really resonates with you, and you believe that you have control over creation, I'll definitely encourage you to start to practice affirmation, start to practice visualization, start to calm your mind down through meditation, start to do certain rituals like scripting and so on. Do mirror work. Go before the mirror and affirm your life whichever way you want it to be. Learn to go to bed night after night consciously. Learn to awake also and start the day consciously and shape your life whichever way you want it to be. So as I come to a close here, I want to say to you that the only how you can transform your life is by the renewing of your mind. Because your mind is what you have to use to create anything that you desire in this world. That is why you need to be in control of your mind power, to understand that you have power or control over creation. You can create your life whichever way you want it to be. So take the responsibility to shape and mold your life whichever way you want it, and live the best version of your life on this planet. So with that being said, my brother and sister, I want to come to a close. I want to thank you very much for listening to me. And I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me and what I'm saying, if it makes sense to you, if it really resonates with you and you have a subscriber already, I definitely want to encourage you to subscribe, to like, to comment, and to share this video. Also, if you like to follow me on Instagram and you like to follow me on TikTok, you can definitely follow me at Black Mad Guru. And if you want to grab a hold of my work, I want to let you know that all of the information that you would need, the links are down below. So go down below after you listen to this message and let your intuition lead you and guide you into what to do. So with that being said, I just want to say peace, love you all, out.